So this is going to be a short tutorial on how to get the missile here in Lighthouse without super missiles. Now there are two ways of doing this. The first way is simply just getting it. You won't be able to escape. The other one is you can escape, but it requires a lot more work. I'm going to show both. The first one we're going to see is just how to get it without escaping. It's the easiest way. So first of all, we're going to do an R dash to get to this side of the room. We're going to go out of bounds here. We're going to get to this side on the wall. Now we're going to jump through a hole in the collision here. And you can, it does look like you can shoot through this, but there is actually a hole here. It's gonna look like this. There we go. Now we've landed on the door. We're gonna shoot it and force load it by jumping to the side. Transition. Now we're gonna jump on top. There's a lot of collision here on top. We can shoot it. If you have something like thermal visor or X-ray, it'll be easier to see the shots. So we line ourselves about here. Now we're gonna jump onto a seam near the base of the tunnel or spider track. We're gonna jump on top. If you get stuck like this, no worries. Just hold L and flick to the side. It looks like I was a little weird. I got kind of in a weird position there. If you can't seem to move, try and bomb jump out, but be very cautious. So now that we're on this scene, what we want to do is we want to do an instant morph ceiling warp. And the way we do that is we get ghost state. We want to get a double jump here, and at the height of our peak of our double jump, we are going to morph, and we're going to get an instant morph, and we're going to hold a specific direction. So land there. Now we're gonna face into here and we're gonna hold up and then wiggle up left. There we go. Just repeat that process a bit. It does take a bit of getting used to, and sometimes if you're not in the right state, uh, you may end up falling. It is pretty worrisome. Just make sure that it looks like your camera sort of sags down after fully morphing. That means you're in the right spot. Then you get the unmorph, and then you go. So if you want to get this with Spider or Boost, well, with Spider, it's pretty easy. Just make sure you're not hugging the wall, because if you are, let's say like right here, and I try to use Spider, I'm stuck. As you can see, I can't move. It's because we're wrong roomed. It's because it's very easy to get stuck, and the game will not check for it. That's okay. You're not permanently stuck. Just unmorph, and make sure you align yourself with the middle, because that way we won't be touching any walls, and we'll be able to use the track. Now, if you don't have Spider, you can get this with just Boost Wall. But the way you do that, I'm not going to show here. Look up GD Vertigo's video on that. Now, there is a way we can get out after picking this up, and that is by getting infinite speed in this spot right here and using a cutscene. But the thing is, if we do it while we're wrong roomed into here, Temple Entry Area, what's going to happen is we're actually going to load Chozo Ice Temple before triggering it, and that is going to crash the game. And we don't want that. Or if you don't have either of these cutscenes active that we're going to reposition, either the Ridley cutscene after picking up Phendrana Canyon right here, or the cutscene at the beginning of Phendrana Shorelines. Instead, what's going to happen is we're going to load Chozo Temple. The game's not going to crash, but you'll be falling down while in infinite speed in Light Show, and you'd have to wall crawl in Light Show to get back in bounds. And that's pretty bad, and I'm not going to show that off. So instead, I'm going to show the other method for getting it with one of those cutscenes active. So similarly how we did it before, we are going to R-dash out of bounds this way. But instead of immediately going to this door here, we are going to line ourselves up with Shoreline's entrance. Should be right below us. There we go. Similarly to before, we're also going to force load this room and transition to it. Now let's jump onto this standable here. We're going to R-jump into its Aether box, or into the Aether rather. Now we want to find the corner of this Aether box because we want to Aether jump up. So let's back up quite a bit. Whoops, accidentally found the Aether box here. That's okay. Just gotta wait for a jump. Sometimes these can take a while. If you mess up, don't worry about it. Just wait a second, you'll find a jump there. There we go. Let's get another one for extra height. There we go. So now I'm just going to hold right. I'm going to spam the jump button. Try and find a jump. Oh, there we go. Okay. That means we must be close to the corner. So we hold back as soon as we get the jump, and now we start holding slightly forward, going left to right. Now we found the corner. As you can see, I fell. Let's do some Aether jumps back up. We want to get high enough until we get stuck. We can't do any more jumps at the ceiling. There we go. Now we've hit the skybox. So now we walk over here. We try to line ourselves with the collision here from before. We're gonna morph and we're gonna unmorph. There we go. Now once again, we go through this hole in the collision. Whoops. Accidentally slid off there in the limit influence. You have to be a little bit cautious there. Sometimes you can miss the hole. There we go. Okay, now, this time around, we want to do a tricky R jump to reach that side there. I'm going to save state just because it's pretty tough to show. Unfortunately, I did fall into the edge of the collision here, and the game's just going to have me fall there. It's pretty hard to do. We want to land on that same standable, but without falling and getting enough speed to reach there. Okay, looks like I land on a much better spot. Just about got it, looks like. Okay, I can't move there. We're going to morph. Gonna do a bomb jump. There we go. Very cautious. Alright, now that we're here, once again, we're going to do the exact same thing we did before. There we go. Now, after you get the missile with either method, we are going to hug ourselves into this corner until you can't move anymore. And we're going to align ourselves with this particular bit of collision right here that the crosshair is on. We're going to line it up so that the right side is sort of centered with it. We're going to morph and we're going to hold up. And now this is going to get us infinite speed. So after you get infinite speed, what we're going to do is obviously we're going to boost, but the idea here is that we want to get repositioned by either the front entrance Shorelines cutscene or the Ridley cutscene. Either one will work. So I'm going to boost here. And if you don't see any results, try and hold the stick towards where the cutscene is. Try and do different directions. This may be placebo, but it works more often for me. You can also try laying a bomb beforehand. Sometimes that'll help. There we go. We just got the missile from the other item, actually. But now we're here in the Shorelines cutscene. Now this is going to kill your frame rate because of infinite speed interacting with so much stuff. So you're actually going to want to wait this out quite a bit until you see Samus in this walking animation. This causes us to get repositioned. That's why the frame rate stops. And there we go. We successfully gotten the item and it came back. Or at the very least, ceiling warped in and got it back. So yeah, that is how you do it. Give it some practice. It's a pretty strong trick. And if you have infinite speed, R8 in a randomizer race, then it could be a really, really obscure bit of tech to skip super missiles. Just be aware that if you don't get it first try, it is pretty slow, and consider maybe finding some other closer checks that supers could be in. And yeah, have fun. Good luck practicing.